Saints Nation, welcome back, welcome back here to the Saints Gaming Stage channel, and of course we're getting ready for another awesome night of AVGL Summer Series Rocket League. We are about to get started, of course, with the St. Clair Saints green team up against the Purdue University B team, and should be a strong matchup, of course. We have ourselves a Swiss-styled bracket here for this AVGL Summer Series League, which means that's both of these teams right now currently sitting 1-0 in the regular season, looking to continue to push that forward. Granted, this is the Purdue University's B team, but I'm not going to take anything away from them. Similar to how we have our two extremely strong teams right here at St. Clair College, could be very well a very similar situation to Purdue University. Of course, my name is Dan Banner, also known as Mr. Danner, as your producer here and host for tonight's action, as we are about to hop into the match momentarily, of course. But before we do, let's get a couple things out of the way, of course. Like I was saying before, Swiss round bracket here, compared to what we were seeing in the OCRS, where instead of a round-robin system, we're always playing somebody with either the same or relatively close to the same record as us. So the more wins, especially the more wins we get in a row, the crazier and crazier our opponents will be. So, of course, plenty of, hopefully, close Rocket League action. Week 1 was absolutely fantastic for all of our St. Clair teams, to be fair, for the side on Rocket League. And even Overwatch did a very solid showing even just last week, but for Rocket League specifically, they were absolutely killing it. I think only one game was not a 3-0 in like 4 or 5 matches, so it was definitely interesting to see, which ties in perfectly because throughout all of June, we have been having a donation incentive here for our players, with every single goal, every single win, and every single sweep adding to the donation counter here for the Windsor Essex Pride Fest. So with all these getting underway, it just means more and more for the side of the Windsor Essex Pride Fest, and just awesome to be able to help such an awesome cause. I have these names backwards. There we go. Hopping into the action. Starting things off nice and strong. Your St. Clair squad is going to be sitting there on the orange side this time by Purdue University B. Going to be in the blue. Best of 5 action here once again tonight. Of course, your St. Clair green roster, of course, that is Spoods, that's Nitrix, and that's Ramen. Meanwhile, on the side of Purdue, we do have, of course, Neffable, and that's going to be actually, hang on a second, before I even get to them, Nitrix is going to get them on the board, or get St. Clair on the board nice and quick from the corner, is able to just kind of tuck it in there. That was a very awkward save to try and make. Neffable was trying to make it happen, but could not find it. And of course, it's going to be Cab and Nerp Nerps alongside Neffable there for the side of Purdue B. Off the face-off, we have the Saints going in once again. Ramen trying to push this one forward, but it's going to be a Nerps right there to pass it over to Cab off the interception. Spood's going to collect it. Ramen pass towards the center. Spood's right back to him. Tic-tac-toe takes the shot, but Nerps going to shut that down nice and quickly. But still in Spood's control. Passes it over to Nitrix. Nitrix shot just going to go a little bit wide of the net. Going to be picked up by Neffable. Good little check, however, from Ramen to push Neffable off of the ball. Forces a little bit of a redo here, a little bit of a recuperation mode here for the side of Purdue. However, they find their opening, and Nerps passes it over to Cab, and he finishes the job, puts it into the back of the net. A little bit of a double commit, but it actually kind of worked into the favor of Purdue this time by. Most times you see a double commitment like that, and it usually puts you in a bad position, but it works. A little bit of extra reinforcements was pretty much what Purdue needed to keep themselves in possession of that ball, allowing for that shot to happen. Cab going to get Purdue University's first goal of the game. With that, we're all tied up, of course, 1-1. The pass-back attempts there for the Saints not going to work, and Neffable's just going to let that thing try to crawl on through. Nitrix is going to push that aside, though. Shot on target now for the side of the Saints, but it's going to be picked up by a Nerf. Neffable looking to get a little bit aggressive on the Spoods. Huge shot, though, from Ramen all the way from center field. Going to tuck that in nicely into the bottom right-hand side of the net. Just finds a Nerps fumbling the ball ever so slightly. He finds his opportunity, and he does not miss those. Takes care of it nicely, getting the Saints the lead back in this game 1. Faceoff goes directly into the Saints zone. It's going to make Spoods make a very quick save as Neffable was coming in a hot pursuit. Nitrix, though, on the recovery, is going to find a shot for himself, and Nerps, though, coming in clutch with the save. He's going to end up getting completely demoed for it in the process, but he's still at least made the initial save. Ramen's shot goes a little bit high, and Nitrix is not going to be able to get any control of the ball, however. So it does go into the side of Purdue for at least a second. But it is going to be Cab trying to move it on forward, only to get denied by Spoods. Spoods to Nitrix, backs to Spoods. Huge play, but an even crazier save coming out here from Nerps last second. Barely getting a quarter panel on that one. Got to keep this one out of the net and keep Purdue in the game. Ineffable comes back in hot pursuit for himself, with Nitrix going to be forced to make the save. Spoods and Nerps fighting for it in the corner. It is crawling towards the Saints net. It is going to be cleared finally here by the Saints, but it's going to be right back in. Cab going to keep this in. Ramen, a little bit of an awkward clear, but he is going to at least keep it high enough so it hits the crossbar of his own net and keeps moving this forward. Now moving into the Purdue zone. Pass from Spoods. Shot on target. Huge one-timer coming out here from Ramen, finding himself his second goal of the game after the beautiful pass from Spoods right off the wall and sends it right into Ramen's path to make this a very high and hard shot for the opposing squad to try and deal with. Beautifully done by the side of St. Clair. Off face-off, we're in the Purdue zone. Trying to get it out is Ineffable. He's hanging around with it in the center field area. Going to try and get a pass, but it's going to be Ramen who pushes it forward. Nice little bump, and Ramen going to find himself the hat trick in game number 1. Starting it off nicely. Ineffable just gets completely intercepted by Ramen, and he's able to essentially get his own pass. And Nerps tries his damnedest to get back in time, but he is not going to be able to do so. Does go down. So Saints in a rather comfy position, 3-goal lead as of right now, but the Purdue squad is not going to be given up yet. There is still, of course, a minute 40 still on the clock, and Nerps does try to add a little bit of pressure with that shot. Spoods, however, is going to just make this save, and he headhunted Ineffable from like the opposite side of the map, and by messing up the defense, that's going to allow Ramen to just come in for free, essentially, after Cab could not get it all by himself, and even a little bit of extra harassment there for the defense as Ineffable gets pushed away, could not make the save even if he wanted to. So that is going to be the 4-goal lead now for the St. Clair Saints green team as we continue forward here in this game. Of course, each of these goals, like I was saying before, it's all going to the Pride Fest. So every goal, like, at the same time, it's like, we have a lead. We could let off here. Absolutely not. Like I was saying before, there is absolutely incentive for our Saints to go absolutely nuts. Get the sweep, get the victories, and keep on scoring. All going to a good cause, of course, that being for the Windsor-Essex Pride Fest. Now, with only a minute left here in this first game, Purdue definitely has to be shaking in their boots a little bit, so to speak. Maybe need to reinflate the tires or something, because they need to go back to the drawing board and try to make something happen here. They started off so strong versus the Saints, keeping them like tit for tat, goal for goal. Then something just fell apart. The Saints, their passing was just absolutely clutch. Ramen went absolutely nuts so far in this game. Of course, still 30 seconds to go. Seen crazy things happen here in Rocket League, but I don't know if a 4-goal recovery is on the menu here today, but we'll have to see. 20 seconds left on the clock, and Nerps trying to make something happen. Ineffable did not get the shot he was looking for. It's going to force Cab to make the shot. He was in a bit of an awkward position. Nitro's going to make the save, and now Spoots has all the time in the world to just carry that for himself. Gets himself on the board with his first goal of the game and giving the Saints their 6th in Game 1. I liked a little bit of extra aerial play with it too, to be honest. It makes it look like he was going high, does a bunch of flips, and all of a sudden, no, you know what? I'm just going to take it to the ground and go low. Nicely done there. And now, of course, Saints, without question, this one is looking like it's going to be theirs, as they're going to take game number 1 in convincing fashion as soon as that ball hits the ground. Absolutely love to see it here. Saints off to a fantastic start. Purdue definitely got to bring it back to the drawing board. Nonetheless, like I was saying before, still, like, of course, this is a best-of-5 series. So one rough game does not mean the end of things here for this matchup. So definitely going to be hopping into game 2 in just a second. We know these Rocket League players absolutely love to go game into game with like essentially no breaks in between. So we'll be hopping into that one in just a second. Of course, do want to give a quick shout out to Vel Smash for his 67th month as a subscriber here to the Saints Gaming CA channel. Absolute legend. Thank you for your support, Vel. Without further ado, let's hop into the swing of things, shall we? Game number 2 of this matchup. Of course, Saints off to a fantastic start, but now Purdue's got themselves a bit of an even playing field going into this next one. Unless Robin picks up where he left off. All right, within the first 10 seconds, going to find himself the nice goal after once again, Neffable just gets himself intercepted once again. Robin going to use his hood, or not his hood, just basically the roof of his car to finish the job on that one. Saints going to be going up 1 nice and early in game 2. Off the face-off, going to be Neffable trying to bring it into the St. Clair zone. Spoods is there to answer, however. Neffable getting aggressive, going to find the main goal scorer there of St. Clair, Rahman, who was on a tear, and just straight up take him out of the game for a couple seconds. Maybe we'll see a bit more of a feisty Purdue University coming out here, and maybe a couple more extra demolitions. The change of style very well could throw St. Clair for a loop, possibly, if they're finding a hard time trying to get around them with just generic passing or positioning. Always a possibility. One of the beautiful things of Rocket League, of course, is that goaltender interference is definitely a thing that you can try and do without penalty. But one thing that might as well be a penalty is how much of a hurt Rahman is putting here on Purdue University. He finds himself the pop fly ball off of the pass from Spoods to put it in for St. Clair's second goal of this game. And nice little extra insurance in case something goes absolutely crazy, like this shot here from Neffable. There he goes. He's going to capitalize big time on that one. Right off a face-off, awkward bounce, leaving it dead center like that. Spoods could not get a piece of it. Nitrix makes the charge back, but it was too quick. Good, solid capitalization there from Neffable to keep this within 1. A little bit more of a standard face-off this time, but overall, face-off win to Purdue. It goes right back to Cab, who is going to bring this back into the St. Clair Saints zone. Nitrix going to try and clear. There's one player up for Purdue's squad. However, bit of an open section right now until Cab rushes his way back alongside the rest of the Purdue University squad, all on defense. Awkward positioning, however, loose ball in the crease is going to finally be pushed aside by the defense of Purdue. Cab with a little bit of interference off the Nitrix. Doesn't matter. He did his job. He sends the pass forward. Spoods is going to get himself on the board. Nitrix, he put this over. Does get checked away. That was a nice aerial check. However, Spoods was already in position to make the play happen. Nice little backup plan in case Nitrix couldn't actually make the shot himself. And it's going to clutch that one up. And Rahman on pace right now to find himself his second hat trick in two games here. Absolutely nuts. And Spood, of course, everybody on the Saints got a goal in the last game, and it looks like they're trying to get there as well. Just need to get Nitrix on the board, and we are all here ready to play. Speaking of the devil, here he comes through, bounced it off the backboard over to Rahman, passes it to Nitrix, pop fly ball in the crease. Neffable going to have enough of that, going to push this back towards the center zone. Neffable's whoosh shot would have been on target unless Rahman pushes it aside. So pressure now in the St. Clair zone. Neffable still on hot pursuit, looks to knock it down. That's right on target, and he is going to find himself another goal here. Beautifully done there from Neffable. I think it's his second goal of this game, actually, with just the perfect angle to just tip it over and tuck it under the crossbar, bounce it off the ground, and call it in. 1 goal game with 3 minutes still to go. This is still anybody's game. This is within reach still. It's not as crazy as how game 1 was looking. That being said, though, we did see what happened in game number 1 where the Saints, it looked like they just turned on a switch, and all of a sudden they were just passing like absolute legends. And with those plays, of course, they were really just put that lead further and further ahead to the point where it was the point of no return. Ball in the Purdue University zone. Shot, slow ball coming through, but it's going to be pushed aside by Cab. And Ineffable looking for another one. He's going to try and do the 1v1 breakaway. He flicks it up top. Not going to find it. Cab with the rebound is not going to find his spot either. Going to hit the crossbar. Nerps is going to be forced to try and make the play himself now as everybody else goes to get boost. And he's not going to be able to seal the deal either. Ineffable still trying to make something happen here. But Cab, he puts it forward, but Spoods is there with the save. A little bit of a redirect from Cab could have made things deadly if that ball was on target. So very close job, but very solid defense there for the Saints squad. But you can really see this Purdue University B squad. Their offense is really starting to show up now into these last 2 minutes. Spoods might have been looking for a pinch there in the midfield, but it is going to be denied, dropping through almost a very dangerous spot. Rahman's going to push aside, but it is going to cost him his car for at least the time being. Ineffable, slow motion, but it's going to be Spoods with just enough of a redirect to get this out of dodge. Rahman now going to bring this into the Purdue University zone. Nitrix shot is going to be blocked by Ineffable, but it does go to Spoods. Ineffable looking to try and challenge. Awkward bounce, however, is going to send it towards his own net. Cab was right there, however, to stop Rahman from finding himself another shot on target. Just over a minute left here in this second game. Purdue University still right on the doorstep of possibly tying this game up. A much better and well-fought second game compared to how the first one went. Rahman going to dish a little bit of hurt there towards the Purdue squad, get himself a demo, but you're going to see one basically returned right back on the side of Purdue. Nitrix in the center, shot on target. Nerps going to be pushing it aside, however, over to Ineffable. Shot wide, but possible rebound, and Nerps is not going to be there in time. It's going to be Spoods charging on forward. Who's in net right now for this side of Purdue? I don't think anybody's there. Nitrix looks to finish the job and get himself on the board, but he is denied by the post. 30 seconds remaining here. Cab over to, that's a Nerps who took the shot, but it does go wide in the corner. Nitrix has it for the time being and does get past the one member of Purdue. Brings it into the corner himself, just trying to kill time. Bad bounce here for St. Clair, though. Has to be forced to run back. Rahman going to get that for at least a second. Spoods in the skies, catches Purdue getting aggressive. Is there going to be any finishing blow? Absolutely. Hello, Nitrix. That is going to be the 2-goal lead that the Saints were looking for, and successfully getting all of the Saints on the board in regards to goals this time by. Nicely done, just to kind of ease off the pressure here and secure the St. Clair Saints green team the victory here in game number 2, unless something absolutely ungodly happens in the next couple of seconds, which after a face-off like that, I don't think that's going to be the case. Well fought, but St. Clair is going to take game number 2 as well. In just a moment's time, there it goes. The Saints are going to take this one, but it was, of course, it is a best of 5, so at the very minimum, we still have one more game on the docket here for Purdue to try and make themselves get into a comeback position. A much better showing from them. Ineffable, big time standout in that one for Purdue. Seems like anytime there was an aggressive opportunity, it was him either setting it up or finishing the job. And to be honest, Cab as well was doing a fantastic job, just constantly putting it towards the center. He got himself 2 assists there in that game. Before the Saints, of course, they've just been absolutely all over the place. Spoods finds himself a goal. Rahman finds himself 2. Nitrix gets 1 as well. And then Nitrix and Spoods both find themselves 2 assists on the game as well. So just the plays are showing up and showing up strong here for this St. Clair Saints squad as we are about to get into game number 3 in just a moment's time. Got a quick question, of course, as well. If you are enjoying all the action here tonight for these St. Clair Saints Rocket League matches, be sure to join us this Friday coming up as the same St. Clair Saints green team is going to be going up against the University of Windsor. And then we have a doubleheader right after that with the Guelph Griffins. And before I even get the chance to finish this job, we have ourselves a goal from Spoods. Maybe not under 10 seconds this time by, but he takes it himself in beautiful fashion and just tucks it on in. What a start. You want to see more of that, maybe up against our own fellow Windsorites. Join us Friday and see the match versus Guelph as well. Just constant matches here with these St. Clair Saints teams. There's still plenty of time, of course, once again here in this third game. Purdue fighting strong, but just haven't quite been able to seal the deal in that second game. Good to see if Cab or Ineffable can turn this one around. Speaking of Ineffable, nice little save there as Ramen takes a shot from the center. Well, awkward bounce, however, there for Purdue. Nitrix going to gather this one up. Can he drop it down in time? He's completely interfering with Cab. That was extremely close. Cab would have been the closest person to make that save, but thankfully, therefore, the side of Purdue, there was additional backup available. Ramen shot goes high, and Nerps is going to be the first to touch it for the time being. Going to chase it over, pass it over to Cab, goes right back into the St. Clair zone. Ramen going to push it aside. There's Ineffable pushing it towards center. This would be the centering attempt, goes through the crease, but nobody on the side of Purdue is willing to make the shot happen. Ramen going to deny the secondary shot. Loose ball, however, that's exactly what the Purdue University squad needed to see. They went headhunting and they found the right person. Ramen was the one in net, and Nerps coming in clutch, to be honest. I haven't said his name too much in regards to the score feed here in this game. Well, there's maybe one of the reasons why. Those demolitions do not show up on the score feed, but that was absolutely clutch in causing that goal to happen. There was absolutely nothing Ramen could do in that situation. Either you jump out of the way and you can't make the save, or you're getting crushed and still can't make the save. Beautifully done there from Purdue. Ball in the St. Clair zone. We do see Cab up high trying to make something happen. Not quite going to find what he was looking for, however. And Nerps maybe feeling a little bit high after that perfect demolition. Maybe going to try and make a play for himself. Get himself on the score feed, but not going to be able to do so just yet after the clear from Ramen. Ramen no boost trying to make something happen anyway, but there's only so much you can do without any boost in the tank. Spoods is going to try to center, but Ineffable is there. Ramen all loaded up now on boost, ready to make a play. Takes the skies. Nitrix is there. Centering pass. And it is going to be the shot. But Cap with the initial save. Another rebound, but Ineffable going to deny Nitrix that shot. And Ineffable gets a shot for himself. And Purdue University find themselves with their first lead here in this series after some solid defense turns into the perfect opportunity and the perfect shot over the hood of Ramen. Beautifully done there from Ineffable and the rest of the Purdue University squad to make that happen. Just catching the Saints with a little bit of over-aggression. They found their shots, but they were all blocked, and the perfect bounce just let Ineffable charge on through. Spood's looking to tie this one up from the skies. Cab is just going to throw himself at the ball. Just make sure that doesn't happen. Fair enough. Nitrix to Spoods. We've seen this time and time again off the post, and he gets it. Second goal of game number 3 for Spoods as he's going to finish that one off after the pass from Nitrix from the skies. Awkward angle, but he still gets just enough of it to cross that goal line. It very well might have crawled in, but at the end of the day, it crawled past the line nonetheless, so that is a good goal. Just over 2 minutes left. Tie game. This is the best we've seen Purdue play so far here in this series. And if the Saints want to get themselves that sweep once again and kind of keep the sweeps on rolling, they'll need to get one more. And who else but Ramen to find himself his first goal of this game, but like his 9th of this entire series at some point. Maybe 7th or something like that. I think he was just denied the hat trick last time by, so he is going to just take this himself, carry it on in. Beautifully done, and Saints take the lead once again. All right, Purdue, you're back in the hot seat. What can you pull off here in this situation? In the past, they've been just a little bit short, to say the least. Coming close, but not quite getting the job done. They have 1:30 some odd to work with. Nitrix currently in the center with it. Gets it taken away, though, and Nerps shot towards the backboard, forcing Ramen to go up high to the skies to stop it and redirect it. Spoods has an opening. Can he find himself the hat trick? He's not going to be able to. Hits the post. Nitrix off the rebound, though. Bounces it off the wall. Can Ramen find the shot? No. That's 3 committed Saints. Is there anybody back right now? Spoods is on hot pursuit to try and get back in the position. And Ineffable was out of boost, which means it's going to go the other way now. Spoods looks for the hat trick. He hits the crossbar. The slow motion shot from Nitrix. He is just going to poke that one at the snail's pace to make it happen, putting St. Clair in a 2-goal lead and right around the corner from completing the sweep against 1 minute left in the game, possibly 1 minute left in the series if Purdue cannot find two extremely quickly. They're on the way to try. Nerps is bringing this into the St. Clair zone. The Ramen up to the skies, and if you're trying to kill time, the skies is exactly where you want to be with it. And Nerps forced to make a save. Actually, he kind of redirected it. That just made it completely free for Ramen. He's going to find himself the second goal of the game. Unfortunate misplay on the side of Purdue. They knew they needed to make a play, but Nerps, he hit it at such an awkward angle. It was like his left rear quarter panel hit it instead of his actual hood, and it really just tucks it into the left side of his net. So worst case scenario here for Purdue, making their job a little bit more difficult. And Nerps going to try and find a redemption arc, however. Tries to put it towards the net. Ramen going to push that one aside, however. Spoods knocks it right back down towards center. Going to be pushed aside by a Nerps. Nitrix in control of it right now. As long as the Saints can continue to control this ball and safekeepings for like a good couple seconds, they'll be fine. But Neffable is going to make things interesting. He finds himself a hat trick here in this one. Beautifully done for himself, as he's going to just knock this in a nice high angle. Tucks it on in and finds a third goal for himself here in 20 seconds, however. 20 seconds for them to try and do it again. It's a little bit nerve-wracking, though. In theory, Saints, you just focus Neffable, and where's the scoring power on this team? We've only seen like maybe one goal all series, not from Neffable on the side of Purdue. And without further ado, however, time has ticked down, and Purdue University is going to end up going down. St. Clair keeps the win streak alive, taking down Purdue University in 3-0 fashion. We'll just get to see if we get an extra dollar on the board if there's a possible final goal. Not quite going to be the case. Ball is going to hit the ground. St. Clair going to complete this sweep. 3-0. Nicely done, Spoods, Nitrix, and Ramen. An extremely well fought battle there. Purdue definitely like not saying die, especially after a rough game one. I know after a game like that, it could sometimes shake people up, but that wasn't quite the case from them. If anything, it put on the kill switch. They were trying, but unfortunately, like I was saying before, just could not finish the job. Now, in regards to the rest of the matchups here for this week, there's still a couple more games around the corner, including one that we had mentioned a little bit earlier in the broadcast, of course. On Friday, June 25th, starting at 8 o'clock, this green team that you have just seen is going to be competing in a doubleheader, but this time for the OCRS. And we're starting things off with the Battle of Windsor, up against the University of Windsor, and then later on we're going up against the Guelph Griffins. And I know the Guelph squad, this is a different one than we've seen the gold team play earlier this season. However, with it being a fellow Guelph Griffins sister team, I'm sure they would love to get a little revenge on St. Clair. So two extremely hype matches going to be coming up around the corner in the OCRS. Join us for that doubleheader, of course, Friday at 8, and then another one right at 9. Next Sunday, once again, though, here on the 27th at 8 o'clock, you can join us for Week 3 of AVGL Summer Series action. Not going to quite know who our opponent is just yet until the Swiss bracket continues, but we'll see soon enough. And then there is a bit of a break for OCRS or the week after that, so there won't be anything that Friday. But then July 4th, of course, 4th of July action, more AVGL on the Sunday. And then on July 9th, we will return with OCRS action. This time we're going up against York University. So still plenty of action to come here on the Saints Gaming CA channel. Our St. Clair Saints varsity teams. This is still technically their preseason. This is only summer. Normally we're not playing during the summer, but these teams are extremely excited to get started right away. So I love the fact that we're getting a bunch of action before the actual seasons even really get the opportunity to start. That being said, though, still there's plenty of prize money on the line, and I know our team wants it. So they'll be continuing to push throughout this season. Looking forward to that. So you want to definitely make sure you follow us here on the Saints Gaming CA channel to catch all those matches live, and make sure, of course, to follow our social medias as well, just in case a match shows up out of nowhere that I didn't have on the schedule, which does sometimes happen. Maybe one of our teams finds a tournament that they want to compete in one weekend. Well, you'll know about it via especially our Twitter, but all of our social medias. Make sure you follow and subscribe in regards to the YouTube channel as well. Catch everything, because you don't want to miss a beat. But with that, though, a bit of a quick night. But of course, Rocket League, as of late, has been a rather quick night, but I'm not complaining. It means our team's going nuts, which is absolutely fantastic. And again, with our team finding themselves the sweep, that is going to be another $25 in itself towards the Windsor Essex Pride Fest. Then, of course, they got the win, so add on another $10. And then God knows how many goals they got this game. We'll go back on the replay and find out, and we'll get you the live total of how much our actual donation money towards the Windsor Essex Pride Fest is on Twitter. With that being said, my name's Dan Banner. Thank you for joining us again for another awesome Singular Saints Rocket League match, and I will see you on Friday for some more, especially that doubleheader versus U Windsor.